This is the story of Benjamin Franklin. Born in relative poverty, how did the young man, denied of formal schooling, transform himself to become a flourishing businessman, a diplomat, an inventor, and a citizen of the world? Thousands of youth have been inspired by his story to improve themselves by industry, frugality, and willpower to change their character for the better. How did this boy from the non-upper class origin improved and transformed himself so that all his activities, all his inventions, all his works in philosophy, economics, politics, and science were directed to one end, the benefit of mankind? And in the process of improving himself, he improved everything that he touched. Benjamin Franklin was born on January 17, 1706, on Milk Street, Boston, Massachusetts. He was one of the 17 children born to Joseph Franklin. Benjamin Franklin's schooling ended when he was 10, as his father could not afford the cost of schooling, nor did he feel the need for it at the time. First, he worked for his father in his soap and candle making business, but Benjamin did not like this occupation.
This is not the least interesting.
Benjamin had a large group of friends. Among various games and activities which they enjoyed, they used to go fishing in a marsh near the sea. To escape having to stand in the marsh for hours, they decided to build a platform. Guided by Benjamin, the boys stole a number of cut stones from a building under construction and put together a decent platform. Before long, the missing stones were traced to this group of boys. They were naturally taken to the task by their parents. Benjamin argued at length with his father about the usefulness of the platform for their fishing.
Father, this platform is very useful for our fishing activities.
Nothing is useful which is not honest.
Honesty means not lying, stealing, or cheating. This at 12, Benjamin became an apprentice to his brother James, a printer, who taught Benjamin the printing trade. Benjamin welcomed this opportunity as it put him in direct touch with the world of books and newspapers.
You go on ahead home, brother. I will close up tonight.
Well done, brother.
When Benjamin was 16, Benjamin turned vegetarian after reading its benefits in books. Benjamin sailed to go to London, supposedly to acquire the equipment necessary for establishing another newspaper in
You shall
Philadelphia.
go to England and
The
obtain
governor offered
machinery
to
for
give
printing.
Benjamin letters
I
of
shall
credit
give you
to
the
procure
necessary
the
letters of
necessary
credit.
machinery from London. However, after disembarking in London, he found out that the governor had deceived
Where
him.
can I obtain printing machinery? I have letters of credit from the governor of Philadelphia.
He learned that the governor had acquired a bad habit. He wished to please everybody, and having little to give, he gave expectations, false hopes. A man who does not do what he says is soon found out, and then no one will trust him again. Benjamin, at the age of 18, learned to never behave like that.
I shall remember never to give false hope to anyone.
At the age of 20, Benjamin returned to America with his good friend Mr. Denham. And Benjamin learned a valuable lesson from Denham. Now Mr. Denham had escaped to America when his business in Bristol, England failed. He could not pay his creditors. Thus, Denham had no choice but to escape back to America.
I have no choice but to run away to America, but I promise to return and settle all my debts one day.
After sincere hard work for a few years, Denham returned to England as a man of some fortune. Soon after reaching England, he invited all his old creditors to a
Gentlemen,
party. Before dinner started, he made a short speech
I wish
to
to
thank
thank
everybody
each
for
and
bearing
every
with him
one of
during
you
his lean
for
spell
bearing with
in
me
business.
during my lean spells. Please Enjoy your dinner.
Then formal dinner started, and all the invitees thought that a good meal was all that they would get that night. But when the plates of the first course were removed, everyone found under his plate an order on a bank for the full amount of the unpaid remainder with interest.
This honest man has settled all his debts in full with interest. He is a man of his word.
To the young Benjamin Franklin, it was an example of honest and right conduct which he emulated in his life. At the age of 24, Benjamin became the publisher of a newspaper called the Pennsylvania Gazette. The Gazette gave Benjamin a forum of agitation about a variety of local reforms and initiatives through printed essays and observations.
I must inculcate moral values and virtues in my writings for the benefit of the American citizens.
He saw this as a service to God because he understood moral virtue in terms of actions. Thus, doing good provides a service to God. The newspaper was more than a business venture, for like many publishers since, he believed that the press had a public service duty. At the age of 45, Benjamin published a proposal for an experiment to prove that lightning is electricity
These iron
by
rods,
flying a kite in
sharp
a storm
as
that
needles,
appeared
with
capable of
rods of
becoming a
wire
lightning
into the
storm.
ground, shall help protect buildings from future lightning strikes.
In June 1776, at the age of 70, Benjamin was appointed a member of the Committee of Five together with Thomas Jefferson and John Adams that drafted the Declaration of Independence.
The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and the equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
But perhaps the greatest contribution of Benjamin Franklin to mankind was his quest for self-perfection. Benjamin sought to cultivate his character by a plan of 13 virtues, which he developed at the age of 20 in 1726 and continued to practice in some form for the rest of his life. His autobiography lists his 13 virtues.
Temperance. Eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. Silence. Order. Let all your things have their places. Let each part of your business have its own time. Resolution. Frugality. Make no expense, but to do good for others or yourself. Waste nothing. Industry. Sincerity. Justice. Moderation. Cleanliness. Tolerate no uncleanliness in body, clothes, or habitat. Tranquility. Be not disturbed at trifles or at accidents common or unavoidable. Chastity. Humility. Imitate Jesus and Socrates.
Benjamin did not try to work on them all at once. Instead, he would work on one and only one each week, leaving all others to their ordinary chance.
I hope, therefore, that some of my descendants may follow the example and reap the benefit.
The rise of the USA was to a large measure due to leaders like Benjamin Franklin, who laid the foundation of that nation about 200 years ago. Due to his life of virtue, morality, and leadership, his place in history is currently cemented on the front of the United States $100 bill. Benjamin Franklin, January 17, 1706 to April 17, 1790.